Good Tuesday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Conversation Daily News. Glad you all could be with us. Of course, we have news headlines coming up on this Tuesday. We have a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. And in today's Entertainment Spotlight, he provided my conversation with actor Mykee Selkin, discussing the year that's been 2022 and his success. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Tuesday headlines. In national news, Buffalo gunman pleads guilty in racist supermarket massacre. The white gunman who massacred 10 black shoppers and workers at a Buffalo supermarket pleaded guilty on Monday to murder and hate-motivated terrorism charges, guaranteeing he will spend the rest of his life in prison. The gunman, who is not being named by Conversations Daily News, is 19 and entered the plea Monday in a courtroom roughly 2 miles from the grocery store where he used a semi-automatic rifle and body armor to carry out a racist assault he hoped would help preserve white power in the U.S. The shooter, who was handcuffed and wore an orange jumpsuit, occasionally licked and clenched his lips as he pleaded guilty to all of the most serious charges in the grand jury indictment, including murder, murder as a hate crime, and hate-motivated domestic terrorism, which carries an automatic sentence of life without parole. He answered yes and guilty as the judge referred to each victim by name and asked whether he killed them because of their race. The shooter also pleaded guilty to wounding 3 people who survived the May attack. Many of the relatives of those victims sat and watched, some dabbing their eyes and sniffling. Speaking to reporters later, several said the plea left them cold. It didn't address the bigger problem, which they said is racism in America. The shooter's lawyers suggested that he now regrets his crimes, but they didn't elaborate or take questions. The shooter has pleaded not guilty to separate federal hate crime charges that could result in a death sentence if he is convicted. The U.S. Justice Department has not said whether it will seek capital punishment. Acknowledgement of guilt and a claim of repentance could potentially help the shooter in the penalty phase of a death penalty trial. The plea comes at a time when many Americans have become nearly desensitized to mass shootings. In recent weeks, there have been deadly attacks at a Walmart in Virginia, at a club in Colorado, and at the University of Virginia. In more national news, 5 officers charged after man paralyzed in police van. 5 Connecticut police officers were charged with misdemeanors on Monday over their treatment of a man after he was paralyzed from the chest down in the back of a police van. Randy Cox, 36, was being driven to a New Haven police station June 19th for processing on a weapons charge when the driver braked hard, apparently to avoid a collision, causing Cox to fly head first into the wall of the van, police said. As Cox pleaded for help, saying he couldn't move, some of the officers mocked him and accused him of being drunk and faking his injuries. Then the officers dragged him by his feet from the van and placed him in a holding cell prior to his eventual transfer to a hospital. The 5 New Haven police officers were charged with second-degree reckless endangerment and cruelty to persons. All have been on administrative leave since last summer. New Haven's police chief, speaking to reporters on Monday, along with the city's mayor, said it was important for the department to be transparent and accountable. In more national news, Uvalde mom sues police and gun maker in school massacre. The last conversation Sandra Torres had with her 10-year-old daughter was about her nervous excitement about whether she'll make the all-star softball team. Hours later, her daughter was one of 19 children and 2 teachers massacred at their elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. With little closure and few answers about law enforcement's 77-minute wait on May 24th in the school hallway, rather than confronting the shooter, Sandra Torres filed a federal lawsuit on Monday against police, the school district, and the maker of the gun the shooter used. "My baby never made it out of the school," she said. "There's no accountability or transparency. There's nothing being done." The lawsuit accuses the city, the school district, and several police departments of a complete failure to follow active shooter protocols and violations of the victims' constitutional rights by barricading them inside 2 classrooms with the killer for more than an hour. The city said it doesn't comment on pending litigation, and the school district and police did not immediately return messages. In business news, Cyber Monday deals lure in consumers amid high inflation. Days after flocking to stores on Black Friday, consumers are turning online for Cyber Monday to score more discounts on gifts and other items that have ballooned in price because of high inflation. Cyber Monday was expected to remain the year's biggest online shopping day and rake in up to $12 billion in sales, according to Adobe Analytics, which tracks transactions at over 85 of the top 100 U.S. online stores. And finally, in more business news, U.S. stock indexes fall as lockdown protests spread in China. A broad slide on Wall Street left stocks lower Monday as global financial markets reacted to protests in China, calling for the president there to step down amid growing anger over secret COVID-19 restrictions. The S&P 500 fell 1.5%, clawing back all of the benchmark index's gains from last week. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Tuesday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. Today is about showing gratitude. Do not make it about you. Strive to use the gifts you have been given to be of service to others. Have an amazing Tuesday. We are part of my conversation coming up with Mykee Selkin in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with an Entertainment Spotlight. Model and actor Mykee Selkin joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about the year that's been 2022 and his success. Here's a bit of our conversation. Mykee, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, Cyrus.
Hey, glad to do it. So, Mykee, let's begin where we are. I mean, as I mentioned, great things happening for you. You have some movies out this year, of course, that people can be able to enjoy. But this has been a journey, though, that has been really years in the making. So what has it been like for you this year to kind of reflect on where you started and where you're kind of wrapping up the year?
Wow, that's a great question. To wrap out the year with 2 movies coming out is really exciting. And as you said, as an artist, all the hard work, the years of sacrifice sometimes, and going back and forth in your mind, is it all worth it? Am I doing the right thing? To know that it all pays off is really remarkable. And I'm just so excited. And I'm really excited for people to see these movies.
Yeah. And here you're literally front and center in these 2 movies for this year, Mykee. I mean, is this kind of what the dream was like for you, to be able to not only to act, but also to have your work recognized this way?
Yeah, definitely. I think every actor who says they don't want to be recognized is kind of lying a little bit. We all love the little bit of adulation that can come from a little bit of the notoriety from these films when people see them, right? So it's really nice for people to recognize me. I mean, honestly, just the other day I was shopping at Whole Foods and this woman was like, "You look like an actor. I think I've seen you in something." And it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. It's really nice to feel all my hard work has paid off. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversation Daily News. Be back with you guys on tomorrow's more news, message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversation Daily News today. Now let's go make it a great one.